Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Patmos. About 40 years ago or 50 years ago or so, James Taylor wrote and sang a wonderful song called In My Mind, I'm Going to Carolina. Well, it's a great song. And it's a great thing to go to Carolina in your mind. Just don't go there in your body because right now, South Carolina has a ripping bad measles outbreak. So go to Carolina, but don't bring your brain with you because measles, which is a brain virus, by the way, is running rampant in South Carolina. There are now nearly 600 people in mandatory quarantine in South Carolina as its outbreak of measles has overtaken the country as the worst outbreak. And it's spreading rapidly. And it's a very interesting situation, kind of a natural experiment, because just to the north, in North Carolina, there's only 12 cases reported of measles. What is the difference? North Carolina and South Carolina are so geographically close by and similar in socioeconomic factors and demographics. What is the difference between North Carolina and South Carolina? Why does North Carolina only have a handful of cases at this point, and South Carolina is a international disgrace with measles? Well, the difference is the vaccination rate. In North Carolina, the vaccination rate, though not ideal, is about just a little bit below that magic number of 95%. Recall, you need to have 95% of the population vaccinated to produce herd immunity and prevent significant outbreaks. And in North Carolina, they're close to that. They have dropped and they're a little bit below, but they're still relatively close. Not so in South Carolina. The laws are different in South Carolina. They are very liberal with allowing medical and non medical and religious exemptions to vaccination for whatever reason someone wants to not be vaccinated. And so the rate of vaccination is overall in South Carolina, excuse me, is much lower. It's about 92%. And that just goes to show you just a few percentage points. The difference between 94.8% and 92.8%, just a couple of percentage points, makes a big difference. And that's why in South Carolina, measles is now really hot. It is really hot. And with 557 people quarantined, and remember, for every reported case, there's two or three more that are unreported because they don't get diagnosed properly or they just aren't reported to county health officials. And, so you're talking about probably over 1,000, maybe 1,500, 2,000 people in South Carolina now have measles, which is a brain virus infection that will kill about 1 in 1,000 people and will leave others with a terminal illness called subacute sclerosing panencephalitis, from which they will die as their brain degenerates 10 or 20 years later on. Anyhow, another thing that's interesting about this is the lower vaccination rate in South Carolina isn't uniform. It's really concentrated in one area. The area of Spartanburg, South Carolina, has something is going on there because the immunization rate in Spartanburg area is around 20%. That is shocking. That's low. That's what you would expect to find in the most primitive areas of the world, like in Africa and in the jungles of South America and other undeveloped areas of the world. What is it about Spartanburg that is in that area to have such a dramatically low vaccination rate? Well, it's really hard to say. There's Spartanburg is subject to the same social media influencers that all the other places are. But that doesn't account for it because why is it so much different in that area? Now, here I'm going to go out on a limb and speculate. There is somebody in the Spartanburg area who is influencing the population in the area. It could be a physician, it could be a non physician influencer, it could be a politician in that area, it could be a local celebrity or a notable local person. But someone Spartanburg area is educating people in the wrong direction to not be vaccinated. There may be a physician or physicians in that area who are known to be writing medical exemptions very liberally, and or it could be that there's just some peculiar social network in that area that is really drawing upon the religious exemptions or non-medical exemptions. In any case, there's something interesting about Spartanburg. Spartanburg is a hotbed of measles right now, and it is where the virus is. Remember, if you're not vaccinated, then what you're saying in effect is, I am giving up my body to host the virus. I'm willing to allow this virus to come into my body, into my brain, my nervous system, where I will make more of it and I will spread it to you. So that's what's happening in Spartanburg is now a host reservoir. It's a little cesspool of, of neurotropic virus that is being reproduced by the people in Spartanburg so they can infect other people. And someone is responsible for that area having more measles than the surrounding areas. Who is it?